Moto. Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
Hello, Moto.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
Hello, Moto.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
Are we live? Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and hello, Moto. Welcome all of you for the launch of the Moto G5 Plus, the next generation of Moto G. It's a great day for us here. Moto G franchise has been one of the most successful franchise for us, and I will talk more about it later to you. As well, and I also want to welcome our friends who are watching us live on YouTube as well as on the Facebook. So thank you guys for joining in for today's session. We have had a great run in this country. We've been fairly successful, but not just in India, globally as well. We are moving from strength to strength and are gaining new grounds in different parts of the world. We are honored to have Dylan Yee with us here today. He is the Vice President for the Asia Pacific region. So I would like to invite him on the stage and talk more about the successful journey that we've had and how Moto and Lenovo together as a brand are growing across the world. So Dylan.
Thanks, Sri. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm Dylan. I'm in charge of mobile phone business for APAC. So let me quickly share some broader update of our business. Outside China, actually last quarter we were number 4, move up one ranking, and at the same time for some spot market we have a very good performance. For India, 2016 we are number 2. Brazil, we are also number 2 with 27% share. And Indonesia, we are number 4. US side, we are pretty much number 4. So very good performance. At the same time, actually you can see, last quarter we shipped 15 million smartphone worldwide. It's 20% quarter to quarter. Actually, we enjoyed that kind of a growth consecutively for 3 quarters. Each time it's pretty much like a 20% quarter to quarter growth. Okay, let me talk about where will mobile go next. I need to say for many years, there's really no true innovation for mobile phone industry, right? You saw bigger screen size, you saw higher pixel camera, you saw bigger RAM, ROM, right? That's really boring. For Motorola side, we have the DNA as a challenger for the top brand in the market. We want to really be focused on the meaningful innovation, which can bring the value to the end user, which can really enhance your experience. So one of the typical showcase for Motorola is a Moto Z product family as well as a Mod product. So far, we are on the right track to sell 3 million Moto Z products. Actually, the activation is already more than 2 million. It's even more exciting if you look at the Mod, first generation Mod product performance. The touch rate is more than 50%. At the same time, I can share with you, people really like the Mod product, really loved to use the product. Some data like for GBL speaker mode, a weekly base, end user use that more than 14 hours. Then for the projector, actually people use more than 10 hours per week. For Hasselblad camera, 6 hours plus per week. People really love that, right? So we launched hackathon program across the world. We are working with developers, from different markets to create innovative mods. We had a hackathon event in San Francisco, in Chicago. Also, we had a 2-round hackathon event in China, Shenzhen. 2 months ago, we had a Moto Collide event in India. So we got hundreds, thousands of innovative ideas for modular product. We already converted many of them into our roadmap. Specifically, we are working with Indiegogo. Right? We identified the 10 most creative ideas. Now, the developers, they are competing for the final award. Our CEO put aside $1 million as a developer winning fund to support Indiegogo developers. So from Motorola angle, each quarter we're going to roll out 3 to 4 innovative modular products with a Moto brand. At the same time, you're going to see more and more third-party brand, other developers will roll out dozens of new modular products in this year. Then the last part, I really want to talk about our philosophy. Different is better, right? So it does not mean we want to be different for the sake of different, right? So we are really looking at how we can bring in the meaningful innovation, right? That's the fundamental thing we are really looking at. So with this, I want to call back Sudin on the stage to talk about how we are being different in India. Sudin, please.
Right, so different for the sake of being better. We do believe that in this industry, the innovation has kind of stopped. We're seeing around us a lot of brands, a lot of competitors launching products that are based on incremental innovation, as it is called. And the innovation has kind of stopped. The innovation is mostly larger screen, larger camera, and people are kind of really living with that and compromising about what products that they are looking at. And that's what today's journey is all about, talking to you more about the G5 Plus, which we'll talk about how that we break the barriers of innovation within our organization. But before that, Dylan shared about our success story in the worldwide market, which is the rest of the world, a bit about back home in India when we started our journey. I think it was almost about 4 years back. In May 2013 is when we started off. Actually, it was June. So almost coming to 4 years. We were the number 31 brand at that point in time. There were only 31 brands at that point in time. And of course, the competition has grown. And in this journey for about 3.5 to 4 years, Happy to share with the kind of response that we have got from our customer, the products that we have got to them. We have reached a number 2 position in this country. However, we are very humble about that. It's not just about a number or a position. It's more about the journey that we are taking in this industry by bringing new and new products in the market. And some of the other milestones that we have reached here, we were the number 1 brand in the online space as well, thanks to our online partners who have helped us grow and reach out to our customers. We are also investing in India in terms of not just about bringing the products or in marketing. We have invested in manufacturing as well. We do locally manufacture a lot of our products here in India. We have Flextronics, our partners who manufacture roughly about 6 million devices for us in the year. So moving from strength to strength, step by step, listening to our consumers, that's where our philosophy is about. We talk to them and understand. And that's where we try and differentiate ourselves. And one of the key pillars of our strength is because we don't see our consumers from one view and one eye and one angle. Because we do believe that our customers are different. You are different, I am different. All people sitting in this room and watching us are different people. So we try and use and understand them, what their needs are, and bring products to them based on their requirement. And which is where I want to talk about one of the key pillars of our strength is our dual brand strategy. Both Moto and Lenovo have been fairly successful in this country. Moto talks to a set of consumer which is looking for larger experiences on their phone, and people who have been using Moto devices understand they are the brand believers. They understand they are not buying for specs and things like that, but pure experiences that they get on their phone. While the Lenovo customers who've been buying, let's say, a very successful K series in the past, they are consumers who are looking for they are value seekers, they are looking for great specs, they are tech believers as well at the same time. So we do believe that looking at India, which is such a large market, almost more than 100 million people buy smartphone today in this country on an annualized basis, and growing at a very rapid pace. We listen to them, we talk to them, and try and give them products that they love, and that's why all our consumers have bought us where we are today. And we have a very clear strategy, and I just want to touch upon this before we start talking more about the G5 Plus that we have. That's what we talk about, different, unlimited spirit. Dylan said, I say that as well. We don't want to be different for the sake of being different, but we want to provide better experiences, and that is the DNA and the philosophy of the strategy that we work with. This is how consumers see us as well in the country, that I talked about, bringing them real meaningful innovation that they are looking for. So these are 3 things that I want to talk about when I talk about different being for the sake of being better. We talk about unlimited intelligence, which is the Moto experience. Many of our consumers who have used a Moto device in the past understand what Moto Voice is all about, or the feature that when you shake the phone, the light gets switched on. And these are the unlimited experiences that we bring to our consumers, which is not purely based on hardware specs, but the experiences that you can get on your phone. The second thing we talk about is the unlimited possibilities, and that's the new journey that we have taken, which is through the Moto mods. And you will see more and more of mods coming out. There are some that have been already launched. We have already made a public statement that every quarter we will be launching 4 different mods, and the philosophy behind mods obviously is to connect with the passion points of our consumers, whether they love music or they love photography or watching YouTube videos and things like that. And there are many more passions that consumers have. So this is about connecting with the passion points of our consumers and bring them, which is a little more meaningful and open up a world of unlimited possibilities. Third thing I want to talk about is the unlimited peace of mind. Unlimited peace of mind is that we've launched technologies and products that are based on shatterproof, which is that the glass doesn't break when your phone falls. You have seen that phones that we have launched in the past, or even things like the water-resistant products that we have launched. That gives you a peace of mind. Now, this is the fundamental and the philosophies based on which we continue to keep launching our products in the market based on the feedback that we get from our consumers, opening up a very wide, unlimited possibilities that our consumers can connect with their devices in the market. Coming back where we are today, the Moto G, the most successful franchise that we have had so far from our Moto series of products. I can share some numbers. In India, we have so far since the beginning, almost been 3 years since various series have come out, till the last G4 series, we have sold more than 6 million devices in this country. So there are already over 6 million consumers out there in the country who are already using a Moto G product in the past. And it is one of the best-selling phones. But to talk more about this, I would like to invite Head of Product Marketing, Anuj Sharma, on stage, who will take you through this product and we'll share what are the new experiences that our consumers are going to get. So, Anuj.
Thank you, Sudhin.
So he's our geek, if you ask me. I mean, he's the one who eats, sleeps, dreams phones every day. He's liked by many of you, the bloggers who are out there. For any question, we say just reach out to him. So tell us, Anuj, what is the new Moto G all about? What can our consumers expect from the phone?
Right. So, with Moto G, obviously, it's a very dear series to us. But not just us, as Sudhin mentioned, right? There are 6 million Moto G users in India alone. So, of course, there's a huge consumer database, a consumer set that's out there. They also love the Moto G. And it's for different reasons. But instead of us telling you this, we actually did a survey. So this was a global survey that was done with about 12,000 consumers out there, asking what do they want in the next Moto G. And of course, the question was not just about the Moto G series, but what does Moto G stand for essentially, which is getting a very premium experience for all. So what did come up is that they want a really good, high-quality device. And this was quite interesting where when it came down to Indians, 4 out of every 5 Indians insisted that the quality of their smartphone, right, so the phones that we use, directly impacts the quality of life. Of course, they're hyper-connected, they're always online, they're using it to kind of get their life forward, right? So they're using it for calling a cab in the morning, they're using it to connect to friends, they're using it to share a lot of their life's moments, and that's where a quality of a device, a quality of their smartphone becomes extremely important. And that essentially is what we had to kind of bring into the Moto G.
So what does the quality of a smartphone mean? This is what consumers are saying, that they are looking at a quality device. But how does that translate into, let's say, a smartphone context?
It's quite simple, actually. So it's not really too much of a rocket science. Again, based on the survey, what we got was essentially 3 things. Right? One, they wanted a really good, crystal clear display. So this is what you interact with most on your phone, and they wanted a really good experience there. Apart from that, what they wanted was a really great camera. Of course, in the Moto G series, we've already stood for that part, and we've delivered some excellent camera performance in the past. But this is something that they wanted. People, even Sudhin takes a lot of selfies, so that also becomes really important, where you keep sharing your life's moments all the time. And the third part, and which I think all of us would agree, is a phone that actually lasts the day. Right? So battery life is the third thing that's really important. So, of course, what they want is they want a great camera, they want battery life that really lasts, and something that really looks good in terms of the display as well. So as simple as that, get these 3 things right, and consumers tend to kind of love you for that.
So that's what the consumers are really asking. But I mean, are there really phones which offer all this? I mean, I've seen, well, I mean, I love taking selfies, but my batteries sometimes don't last. I love battery phones, but the display is not great, right? So there has always been a bit of a compromise that consumers have to say. This is what they want, right? They want a great battery, a great camera, a great display. But today, when you look around in the smartphone market, there is something or the other. There's always missing, and that's why we say, I mean, why compromise, right? And from a consumers are saying that, well, I wish my phone was there which could give me everything together. I don't need to compromise. So do we have answers to this, Anuj?
Well, I mean, that's what Moto G series has always stood for, right? With the Moto G, basically you are not compromising anymore. So you basically uncompromise with the G5 Plus. And that's what the G5 Plus talks about, or G5 stands for, and what the Moto G franchise has been on forever, actually. That's what makes it so iconic, that you don't really have to compromise with the G series.
So why don't you share with our friends what this uncompromised phone is all about, the Moto G5 Plus. Over to you, Anuj, and I'll come back later.
Sure. Thank you, Sudhin. All right. So this one is quite easy, actually, right? So it's the Moto G5 Plus. Pretty much the industry gold standard for devices in this price category. Consumers love them. Of course, we really care about this series. And yeah, let's just talk about the next generation. And, you know, Moto G series in India has done so well in the past that there's even more pressure on us every generation to kind of take it up a massive notch up. So what I'm going to do is, and there are a whole lot of things to talk about the G5 Plus, but in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I will try and capture the top 5 key features that, you know, I'd want you to take away from this presentation. Now, it's not just about these 5. There are a whole lot of things other than that, which you will be able to discover later. But let me start with probably the first one, which right away catches your eyes, the premium design, right? So now, the G5 Plus, of course, it retains the iconic structure of the G series. It's great to look at, it's great to hold, which is, I think, even more important. It's still got that same Moto G charm to it, but as you can see, it does not look anything like the previous Moto G series, right? At 7.7 mm thin, this is the first G series that from Moto, which is gonna be completely metal, right? So it's got a metal construction, and not just any metal. Of course, you know, we can kind of cheap out on the metal, but this is using something that's called aluminum 6000, right? Now, this is important because, of course, you've got different grades of aluminum, and that defines the durability as well as how good it looks and how good it feels. The aluminum 6000 as the base metal here provides a really good combination of a very durable device, yet a very good looking device. It's got that right amount of sheen on it. So it also kind of ends up feeling as good as it looks on the pictures. Along with that, what you would see in the front is the Moto design language, right? So it's all kind of fits in well. There's a new fingerprint sensor and a new fingerprint sensor design that you would notice. Even the speaker on top, it's a front-firing speaker, kind of just sits in with this entire curvy kind of design. And then, of course, you can't really miss that, but the camera at the back, right? So the camera, if you can see, the camera chamfer has been diamond cut, so it's precise, and it's, you know, it can be kind of replicated on a volume scale, so every Moto G5 Plus is going to look fantastic at the back and have that same finish, not just, you know, a few demo samples that will look better than the others. So that actually, you know, makes it look really good. In the front, there's a Gorilla Glass 3 for protection. And while this is all metal, and while this is, you know, obviously very complex to kind of manufacture, it still is water repellent, right? So we've brought back that feature on the G5 Plus. And of course, at the back, you've got the famous Batwing logo. So overall, this device is quite interesting. And, you know, in the sea of sameness, today, when you pick up a device in this particular price class, almost all devices look the same. But when you see a Moto G5 Plus, you will not mistake this for anything else. This looks distinct, right? And it looks premium. But let me talk a bit more about that camera. I mean, of course, you can't miss that camera bump, right? So talking about the cameras, Moto G4 Plus is probably still, or is going to be till today midnight, the best camera phone in this price class that you can buy, right? We had to up this. and we had to take it to the next level. So the G5 Plus has the most advanced camera in its class. What makes it really advanced is this is going to be the first with dual autofocus pixels in the sensor. What it does is it lets you lock onto a particular target really quick, and even if the lighting conditions aren't perfect, so if it's a cloudy day, if it's a gloomy, dark day, you will still get beautiful pictures out of it. And talking about dual autofocus pixels, now this is where the sensor on the G5 Plus actually has 10 times more pixels than the previous generation, which are used to focus. And hence, it helps focus really quickly, lock onto subjects really quickly. In fact, it's almost about 60% faster to focus than the previous generation, still best in the class, camera. So it does really well. Along with that, when you can focus well, that's one part. The G5 Plus also has what you can see is a f1.7 aperture, which basically means, in a nutshell, it takes about 25% more light than the previous G Plus. So it does quite a lot more on the low light part of it. So I'm not saying when it's completely dark, it's not an infrared camera, but when there's low light conditions, it does about 25% better than the previous generation Moto G. And I'm comparing this with the previous generation Moto G because it's still the best in class, right? So it just makes sense to kind of just step it up there. But instead of me telling you that it has a better low light camera, I thought we could kind of demo this. So what we could get is, this box here, and it's pretty much closed. Of course, there's some light leakage happening on the side, so it's a kind of a reconstruction of a room which will be lowly lit. And what we try and do is, if you can get the camera guy here to just peep into this and see how much he can get, and then I'll try and show it with the G5 Plus and see if that camera actually works better. So can we get the screen on, and let's get everyone to kind of see what he's seeing. And can we get this on the webcast as well, so people who are watching us on, all right, so you can actually see it's dark, right? It's not really lit in the middle, there's nothing, it's not as dark as what he's seeing it, but it's relatively dark. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the G5 Plus here, so let me just get the camera on, and you will be able to see the difference, right? So it works, right? It's not just marketing speak. Thank you. All right, done. But let me talk about a few more things. So yes, it focuses really quickly, and it does well even in low lit conditions. But what happens, is a lot of times when you're trying to take a picture, even if your camera is really quick to focus, you will still be hunting for that button. In some cases, in most cases, you'll be hunting for the camera app. How do you fire that up? In this case, what you get is quick capture. So 2 quick twists of the wrist, and your camera is up. Do that again, and your selfie camera kind of comes up. So we will kind of try and demo this to you here again. And you can also try it out later after this in the hands-on area. But the idea is to combine the fastest way of launching the camera along with the fastest camera, so you never really miss a moment there. Along with that, what we've also got is, when you've done this, right, so suppose there's something happening and you're trying to capture that image really quickly. So you've fired the camera up, of course the dual autofocus pixels help, you've focused really quickly and you've taken a picture, your hand could still be shaking. In this case, the G5 Plus is intelligent enough that it takes multiple shots, right? So it would take about multiple shots there. In some shots, somebody's eyes might be closed. In some shots, your hand was shaking, especially when you press the trigger. And it will automatically and intelligently select the best shot. So it'll be one original shot which you took, and along with that, from the multiple other shots it took, it'll have one best shot that'll come with it. So chances are that you will get that picture that you want every single time, and of course the pictures are going to look beautiful. Along with that, of course, you've got the professional mode. Now, this is something that consumers love. It was also one of the key premium features that they were asking for. In this, you can adjust like a professional SLR. You've got adjustment for white balance, shutter speed, ISO, exposure compensation, as well as you can choose a macro or infinity focus. So you've got that control. And of course, you can see on the sides some of the images that were taken with the G5 Plus, some beautiful shots that have come from the test group. And hopefully, we will see a lot more from some of you guys here. Switching to the front camera. Now, the front camera is a wide-angle selfie camera. So you can capture a lot more people. If you're trying to take a selfie of a group, it just works better. And there's a beautification mode that you can turn on or off, or choose how aggressive you want to kind of beautify yourself. And it does a brilliant job there in terms of capturing your own selfies. And all of this, all the camera features further get enhanced by the gallery app that we've got on this. Now, in this case, what we did was we chose the most powerful and the most versatile gallery app, which is the Google Photos app, right? It just makes perfect sense where you've got all the filters, you've got a whole bunch of editing options, and of course, the fact that it keeps backing up all your photographs so you never lose it, even if you lose your phone. And that's going to be the gallery app on the G5 Plus. Can we, yeah. All right, along with the camera, we've also bumped up the performance on the G5 Plus. In fact, it's up to 30% more powerful than the previous generation Moto G Plus. So of course, that's kind of coming in. And we will have options available going up to 4 GB of RAM. So if you're multitasking, if you're playing games, just a whole bunch of apps that are running, which most people do run on the G series, this phone will not stutter, this phone will not slow down. So, you can actually put anything at it, throw anything at it, it will kind of handle that. And to go with the performance, obviously the other part which consumers really wanted was the fact that you needed a battery. You need an all-day battery. So this one is capable of lasting up to about 35% more than the previous generation G series. So 30% more performance while 35% more battery life. And when you need to kind of power down, the turbocharger kicks in, which basically in just 15 minutes lets you charge the battery quickly, so you get up to about 6 hours of usage, right? So with the G series, you don't really slow down, right? And the phone doesn't slow down, and neither do you. So it just kind of works brilliantly there. But it's not, with Moto, it's never been about just a better performance, or better camera, or better design, or better battery. It's all about the experiences. And of course, with Moto, that you're getting a really pure, clean Android. So this is going to be running Android 7 with Google Assistant. Now there's a little star there, which basically means that once you get your G5 Plus, you will need to update it. So just connect it to the Play Store. After the update, you're going to be good to go on the Google Assistant part of it. Of course, you've got Moto Display and Moto Actions. Now, these are a whole bunch of experiences, very intuitive experiences that have been developed by the Moto team. And they come down to the G5 Plus. But instead of, again, talking, let me kind of show you this one. I think I'll go there and get this started. All right, can we see it? Okay, too high. There you go. Perfect. All right, so the first one that you would probably see is Moto display. So this is, what ends up happening is a lot of people keep powering on the phones just to check time or to see if there's any messages that have come in and to see if, there's something that they kind of need to do. With Moto display, you don't need to do that. Just nudge the G5 Plus and it will show you all the notifications there. So you can see the notifications. I think we'll have to turn down the lights a little. A little bit more, please. So this is something that's kind of low power. So just good enough for you to see. But yeah, you can see this. So let me try this again. Okay, that's nice. All right, I'm getting punked here. Sorry about this. So what you get with the Moto display part of it is you can interact with the screen. You can read the key notifications without really having to power on the device every time, right? And on average, a person just kind of looks at their phone, just looking for if something else has come, almost about 70 to 80 times a day. So this is saving you a lot of effort. It's also kind of a lot more intuitive the way it kind of works. And it's not just the lock screen notifications. You can interact with them. So I can actually send a message from here itself. And for example, if you're playing music, you don't have to unlock and change songs. You can do it right from the lock screen itself. So it just works beautifully there. Along with that, we've got a whole bunch of actions. So we know this one, and this is a personal favorite of mine. Suppose the power's gone out. What we normally do is we unlock the phone, look for the flashlight. Now it's in the shortcuts and try and get this on. With the G5 Plus, all you need to do is chop this twice. So you go twice, and the flashlight's on. So this is, based on research, the fastest way of powering on your flashlight when you need it. It just works perfectly there. So you've got the flashlight, the karate chop, twist for camera. So we were talking about this. So double twist, and you've got the camera on. Oh, you can't see this here. Let me try that again. Yep. So second, and you've got a pretty terrible selfie happening here. So that comes in. And all of these experiences are in the Moto app. So look for the Moto app on the G5 Plus. And it's not just this, but you get a whole bunch of other really intuitive options. So there are a whole lot of features that have been put in there. Everything that's really useful, nothing that's actually not really needed by consumers. So it just works overall perfectly. And I think, yeah, so 6 more things. I think, wait, I'll just kind of run through the overall thing and then we'll come back to this. Along with that, very quickly, of course, it's got a very fast fingerprint reader in the front, works perfectly well there. It's got a dedicated storage slot. Consumers were asking for this. It just makes perfect sense that we retain it on the G series. It's got NFC, so once Android Pay comes into India, the G5 Plus is going to be ready for that. Of course, it's got all the connectivity options. And basically a dual SIM device. So you don't really have to compromise in terms of what you want, right? You want a second SIM card which is giving you this huge data, for example, or this entire storage where it could be a large music collection. You don't really have to compromise anymore with the G5 Plus. So it just kind of connects all things together. So again, to summarize, a great build, amazing best-in-class camera, all-day battery, great performance, and of course, the experiences, the overall experience as well as the Moto experiences on the device. So with that, I think we have a summary video that we can kind of play. Thank you. So just one more thing remaining, I guess. Sudhin, over to you.
Sure, can I get the mic, please? Truly an uncompromised, compromising phone. Gets everything that our consumers are looking for. Thankfully, I mean, my favorite is obviously the selfie one. Thankfully, I don't need to wait for the moonlight to happen to take it. So I'm sure everybody is waiting for the price and the offers. So here you go. G5 Plus comes in two variants, 3 plus 16 and 4 and 32 variant, starting at 14,999, and of course the higher variant at 16,999. Consumers get to buy this through our valued partners, Flipkart, tonight at midnight. The sale begins tonight. Two different variants, 316 and 432, starting at 14,999. But that's the price, right? What else do they get? I mean, tonight is the day to buy, and we have a great, very, very exciting offers for our consumers if they buy the phone, which is post-midnight today for tomorrow. These are the launch day offers, which will be running through the day tomorrow. So yes, if somebody wants to exchange, there are various exchange programs that keep running on Flipkart. If you buy a G5 Plus, you will get an additional 1,500 rupees. Of course, people who buy on credit card, which is becoming very popular nowadays, if you buy on the State Bank of India card, consumers will get an additional 10% discount. I think this is my favorite, and this is something new that our partners Flipkart are trying, which is the buyback guarantee. And I just want to add a word, free buyback guarantee. It's a new program that has been launched on Flipkart. The program is roughly 1,200 rupees, but people who will buy Moto G5 Plus, this has been waived off. What this program essentially means is it gives you an assured kind of a sum of money, which is 7,000 rupees. So if you buy G5 Plus, you have an assured guarantee that if you have to upgrade your next phone in, let's say, about 6 to 8 months' time later on to any other Moto device, you will get an assured 7,000 rupees. Now, what that's translate into? Which means that if I buy a phone tonight, 6 months, 8 months later, I want to buy a new Moto device, which is there, it will cost me, I'll get 7,000 rupees back, it will cost me 999 rupees. Now that's a great offer, and that's something new and innovative that our partner Flipkarts are going to do this on the G5 Plus. Of course, there is a no-cost EMI, people who want to take on affordability program. And last but not the least, you will get a Moto Pulse 2, which is the hands-free, which is worth 600 rupees, 599. So starting 14,999 tonight at midnight on Flipkart, great offers for our consumers who want to buy on the launch day itself. Great, good offer. So that's it from us here. The last formality left, of course, for our press here, maybe if they want to take a picture of the phone. So I'd like to invite Dylan back on stage for the photo opportunity.
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto. Moto. Hello, Moto.